Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to swatch and talk about Bees Knees Lacquer. And we're going to do their Frankenstein Part 1 collection, which just came out at the end of last month. And then at the end of this month, there's actually going to be a Frankenstein Part 2. So really looking forward to that as well. Okay, so these are pretty big 12 polish collections, so we're gonna go ahead and get started so this does not take forever. I'm gonna kind of move in color order. There's one kind of purplish one, and then we'll kind of move into some blues and the whites, some greens, some browns, and then the sort of pinkish reddish ones we'll get to at the end. So this first color is called It Doesn't Know Any Better, But You Do. This is a magnetic, and it also has some pretty crazy shift going on there. So we'll have to look at it and see what that does, because this looks like it's going to look totally different on the nail than how it looks in the bottle. This one is called Entirely Bewitching But So Odd, and it's got a nice teal shimmer to it. We'll see if we get some shiftiness. Yeah, it looks like there's maybe a green shift in there. We'll see, because this looks like a pretty color. This one is a little bit more reflective. This one is called In Seeking Life, I Created Death. This is also a magnetic. So it's looking a little bit more reflective, so a little lighter. It does have a kind of purple blue shift to it. But we'll see what it looks like once we use the magnet, because I feel like it's hard to predict sometimes how things are going to turn out. Then we have I Will Change Your Destiny. And this one actually looks quite similar to the last one, except it has more of a bluish hue, and maybe there's a little bit of a more golden hue to the shift that it has going on. We'll see. Okay, so this is one of the two kind of white polishes. This one is called Maman. And it kind of, like, it's very pearlescent, I think. It's white, but then it sort of has that abalone shift with the sort of green, sort of pink, but very subtle and light. I think I'm gonna like this color because I always love kind of pearly colors. This one is called Only Monsters Play God. And this one is a lot like the last one, except it's way shiftier. This one has a super intense blue-green shift that I think is gonna turn out looking really cool. Okay, into the greens. We've got this one, Believing Something Does Not Make It True. This is a magnetic as well, and I actually have already swatched this one. It's a really pretty kind of almost emerald green magnetic. It's a very jewel tone. I really liked this one. This is sort of a shiftier green. It's called Please Always Helps, and it is also a magnetic. And it looks quite reflective also. You can tell there's a lot of pigment in there that's reflecting the light. So I'm interested to see what this is going to look like magnetized, because I can't really tell what the base color is looking at all the sparkle in here. This one is called That Word Means Everything to Him. And this is sort of a brown looking polish. It is also a magnetic. Maybe brown, like a bronze, because it does have that reflective quality as well. So it's pretty shiny and kind of metallic looking, so I think it's going to turn out kind of bronzy. This one is called the Dark Angel, and looking at it, I can see that it has a pretty classic multi-chrome shift in it. The kind of red, green, gold shift that's really popular because it's so beautiful. It's it reminds me of like a beetle shell or something. It's a super pretty multi-chrome. This one is called The Narrow Limits of Academia. And this looks almost kind of like a flaky, like it has really kind of big pieces of glitter in there. I think it's going to turn out to be sort of a pink, but pretty dark and a little, but pretty dark, not like a really bold color. So I think I'm kind of going to like this one because it's going to be a little more neutral. And then finally we have this one, Mother Was Mine. And this is another one of those really fine particle magnetics that Bees Knees Lacquer has been producing lately. And it looks like it's going to be a really pretty pink. So I'm excited to see. I'll go ahead and show it to you. I'm excited to see what that will look like. on the nail. Okay, so that is all 12 of the polishes from the Frankenstein Part 1 collection. Let's go ahead and start swatching them. Okay, we're going to start with this polish. It doesn't know any better, but you do. And I'm going to go ahead and do all the magnetics with this horseshoe magnet for the velvet effect, because I think that will help display it well. That's pretty with the gold and the blue. Okay, next we have Entirely Bewitching But So Odd. This is like a nice teal. It's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. This one is called In Seeking Life, I Created Death. Wow, this one is pretty too, but it also has this like blue gold. So I'm curious to see it next to the one we did earlier to see kind of what they look like separately. Okay, this one is I Will Change Your Destiny. This one also has some blue and gold in it. Okay, this one is Maman. This is that sort of less bold pearlescent shade. Oh, that's so pretty. This is like a wedding shade. And this one is Only Monsters Play God. And you can see how that's like bolder and more shimmery than the other one. Way more blue reflections there. This one is Believing Something Does Not Make It True. This is super fine grain on the magnetic particles. I love it. This one is Please Always Helps. That one's really interesting. Like green and red. I feel like out of all the ones that we've done on these hands, this one is the most shimmery, multi-chromy of all of them, which I did not expect. That word means everything to him. This is interesting. It looks just brown right now, but we'll see how it looks with some flash. I feel like I'm most underwhelmed by this one. I feel like it's not really giving a lot. Like there's not a lot of shimmer or shift there. It's supposed to be magnetic, but I don't feel like it's doing much. Alright, this one is the Dark Angel. That's not really what I expected. It's an interesting color. This is a gorgeous, interesting color. I think this is one of my favorites. Okay, this one is The Narrow Limits of Academia. And finally we have Mother Was Mine. It's like a pretty pink. I like this one. So after swatching all 12 of those polishes, I have to say I definitely have 3 that are standout favorites. The first one is Maman. This one glows. Like, it's funny because it doesn't have as much shimmer as the other white one, Only Monsters Play God. But when I had this on and I was going to bed last night and it was kind of dark in the room, like my nails, I don't know if they were just reflecting ambient light from out the window or something, but they looked like they were glowing. It was so pretty. So this is definitely one of my top faves. I love this one. My second favorite was this one, the Dark Angel. I don't know, this one was just interesting to me, and I see so many polishes that I love a really interesting kind of different polish. It does have that multi-chrominess to it, almost like an autumn kind of a shade. There's orange and red and maybe like a little bit of a muted brown. But what I really love about it is the red base that it uses, which I really think elevates that multi-chrome to such an interesting color. So yeah, this is definitely one of my tops. I don't get a lot of the green. You see the green quite a bit in the bottle. I don't know if you can see it, but in my studio lighting, I see a lot of green, but I'm not getting really any green on the nail. On the nail, it's all just like red and gold, and maybe again that muted brown. So it's a super nice autumn polish, and I can't wait to wear it later this year. And this is my last favorite, also a very autumny polish. This one's called The Narrow Limits of Academia. Now, from looking at it, I really expected it to be more pink, and not like a bright bold pink, but like a little pink, I guess, like a muted pink. But it really turned out to be more of a neutral brownish color. And maybe the flakies are a little bit rose gold, but even then I'm not getting like a super rose gold feel from it. It really does feel browner than it does pink, if that makes sense. So it's a nice, I wouldn't call it a neutral polish because it's obviously still very dark, which can bother a lot of people who are looking for polishes that work well in a work setting. This is not that polish. Bees Knees Lacquer is not your company for that specific need. But I will say it's definitely more low-key than a lot of other flaky polishes, just because the colors of the flakies kind of blend so well in with the base polish. So I like it for a little bit less of a loud polish, but still really interesting and fun. And then I have to mention the 2 fine particle magnetics. This is a formula that Bees Knees Lacquer came out with a few months ago. Their pilot polish was called Bog Dweller. And now they are using that formula in a few other polishes because it has been so popular. Those fine magnetics, I feel like they really make, it's like putting a little blur on a photo. It just makes everything look a little more smooth, a little nicer. So these are really pretty. This one, Believing Something Does Not Make It True. That one looks absolutely gorgeous with the velvet effect, and it definitely does have that fine grain magnetic formula as promised. And this one as well, Mother Was Mine. This also does have the fine magnetic formula. I feel like the silver or whatever contrasting color that they chose for this doesn't stand out quite as much as it does on the green. So this one is definitely more visually impactful. While Mother Was Mine is very pretty, it's definitely less eye-catching from a little bit farther away. So there you have it, swatches for the entire Bees Knees Lacquer Frankenstein Part 1 collection. And again, Frankenstein Part 2 is coming out later this month. And Bees Knees, while they do open their store only once a month, and that can be a lot for some people, they do often have overpours, which is like leftover bits from prior collections when they do open the store. So if you see any polishes here that you like, you can go check the store when it opens again at the end of this month and see if any are available. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please do throw them down in the comments below because I would love to talk to you about nail polish. I love it. Thank you all, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.